remaining. Dire team ban. Ten seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining. Radiant team ban. Dire team ban. Radiant team ban. Ten seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining. Dire team pick. Radiant team pick.
Grimstroke.
Ten seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining. Radiant team pick. Dire team pick.
Gyrocopter!
Ten seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining. Dire team ban.
Phantom Lancer.
Ten seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining. Radiant team ban.
Team Secret versus Team NIGMA, the type of Dota we love to see. And we already loved game number 1, and we hope that game 2 lives up to our expectations
10
just as
seconds
much.
remaining.
We're ready to show you the draft all ready for this game 2 of a best of 3.
5 seconds remaining.
Powered by Intel, joined by Kyle and by Tigo.
Dire team ban.
Well, I know you like to see us, but you're only going to see it for a short, snappy second because the draft is well underway, and I can't wait to see what's happening. Gyro. Oh, love it.
They gave him the PR.
Radiant
You know
team
what I'd love to
ban.
see from NIGMA is the refreshing take on IO Gyro, because of course RDW, he loves playing, some IO carry. What's also pretty good? Gyro mid. What makes this combo good? Maybe you put the IO in the safe lane, the Gyro in the mid lane, you pick a strong lane to enable the IO, and now you have a really big mid-game orientated draft once again.
10 seconds remaining.
Or they can just go support IO GH, sure.
5 seconds remaining.
What was the discussion? If it's core, it wins. If it's support, it loses. Pretty much the
Pretty
rule.
much a rule of thumb, yeah.
But how does Carry Wisp fare against Phantom Lancer? Because
that doesn't matter. PL's it's picked
on the other team.
Never mind.
Dire team
yeah,
ban.
1 second there, I thought it was banned, but it was banned previous game in the first phase.
Yeah.
So
I think it depends. It fares well because of the Gyro. I think they, if in this weird scenario that I proposed, if it is to work, then the IR and the Gyro complementing each other. A lot of magic damage coming out to deal with the likes of a PL. But let's not get
10
carried away with
seconds
the
remaining.
kind of that weird iteration.
Radiant team ban.
okay, so Can we learn anything from the bans of the Timber, the Abaddon, and the Lesh? Or are those all just heroes that do okay against
protecting the Phantom Lancer? I think the Abaddon is just because they respect it with the core Wisp so much.
But for the idea of what Nigma brings to a game, they're all heroes.
10 seconds remaining.
For mid-game snowballing, kind of you centralize your draft around it. You know,
5 seconds remaining.
The Husker, the Troll, the +1 to go in. The Tusk is just insane damage and Roshan
Radiant
potential.
team,
Timber,
pick.
Aber, and Lesh, they're all exit a laning phase. They're just accelerants to just map pressure because they're crossing the river and doing stuff. So yeah,
They have Phantom Lancer. You ban Timber Lesh.
sure, and you ban Timber Lesh. I'm just giving it a better way of saying it, Carl.
Dire team,
You gotta,
pick.
I feel like I'm an 8th grade English class. You know, you got to write that book report. We're like, all right, well, it's really only worthy of a Cliff Notes, but we've got to finish the full 2 pages.
Yeah, the 2 pages. Sometimes it's kind of cool.
The ET,
Oh, yeah, this is a favorite once again.
We saw ET played by Brain very
10
successfully on the
seconds
off lane.
remaining.
Is there a chance Mind Control takes this one?
I'm down for it.
Yeah.
5
How's he
seconds
played that? I
remaining.
know you're all big on the checking of the pubs of the players, T.
I'm checking. I'm having a
Alright,
gander.
alright.
every offlaner can play ET. Seb was doing it before
said
it
he
even got
hasn't.
He
banned.
hasn't played it.
On any of his heroes.
Mind Control, no.
He has no
Yeah.
Smurfs.
And doesn't have any Smurfs.
Smurfing
Mind Control
is a
is an honest
bannable
man.
offense,
Yeah, he's honest.
Kyle.
There's
Yeah.
no. Wait, is it really?
Yes.
Yeah.
There's that guy. He's always streaming like.
I know, and
accounts.
he's about to
He's
get
literally
banned.
boosting accounts.
It's
He's about to
Radiant
get banned.
team,
the
pick.
banning.
Yeah, you know,
process.
there's a lot of paperwork.
He's a lot of
Dire
admin.
team, pick.
Quick draft though. Snap pick center into a snap pick center
That is
flanking.
an interesting point though. Like, shouldn't pros kind of have to Smurf? That's why you hide your match history. Otherwise, people can find out what you're playing.
I
It's
just-
open in the API.
I feel like if you're practicing in pubs, you're playing pubs which are public. You don't need to hide.
10
Yeah,
seconds
playing with 9
remaining.
other people.
Yeah.
Sure, but
That's a talking point for another day.
5
We got
seconds
Game 2
remaining.
Enigma and Secret, Carl, and we have a Sanking and an ET. So this, again, I'd love to see this be an IO ET lane, Sanking in some 4 or 3 capacity with Gyro mid. I think that it plays well to the evolution of this team with RTW and Miracle, and I really want to see them just try something a little bit more creative because they have got game 1 up against Secret.
Sand King Core is quite nice against the Phantom Lancer though, with the cost
It is
build.
true. Yeah,
You
for
just
sure.
play really aggressive in the lane. I just don't really buy it. I have yet to see Sand King have a ton of success. I feel like we've been saying this for like a decade.
Yeah.
Like, it just doesn't seem good ever.
He needs the 4 to do a lot of work. Like he needs that Willow. He needs that Mirage.
Dire
If you
team
care about
ban.
lane but not the game, like you need that +1 to retake the fight.
Incarnate.
That's so far. I feel like we've seen a lot of these mid-game team fights. It's especially true of these 2 teams. And right now, it feels like Secret have a lot more in the bank. Like the initiation is just so much simpler with it.
10 seconds remaining.
It's the opposite of that as well, though. In game 1, why did they lose? They could take fights.
5
but when
seconds
they took a fight
remaining.
and they didn't want to take it, they couldn't get out. Now they have
Radiant
Sentinel and
team,
Voice Whip,
ban.
all
Dire team,
super
ban.
elusive heroes in the game. So if Secret doesn't want to take a fight, they will always be able to disengage, reset, and then maybe go again. And when you have heroes like, a Gyro, a BKB, he can fight. With a BKB, he can't. ET, if he has ult, like, these are very on and off heroes from Nigma. So, yeah, I like the idea of Secret.
10
and it
seconds
clearly sees how
remaining.
They've read game 1 and why they lost, and they're adapting slightly. We need to play
5
the win
seconds
position. We need to be able
remaining.
to choose the fights we want to take. We can't just fall victim to, oh wait, Nigma's now running at us. We're
Radiant
done.
team,
So
ban.
I like the slight evolution there, but for Nigma, they need to decide exactly where they're going with their heroes, unless it is just the simplicity of.
I like the bans from Secret.
They are 1 game up, of course, as well. So this would be
That's
the.
why I want to see them get a
Yeah.
bit creative.
Yeah.
They
Same.
have last pick.
That's so
10
scary. They
seconds
actually offer this
remaining.
Nice, and you have last pick. That's spooky.
I could
Yeah.
see.
5 seconds
who would play
remaining.
And I guess I know who would have played it, but Meepo last pick really strong.
Dire team, pick.
I think they need something that sort of changes the win condition. It looks like a Wisp support at the moment,
Yeah.
and I'm just not sold on Wisp Gyro into the Hero Secret have. Like Centaur considered a good counter pick, as is PL, and then a Void Spirit with the Ink Swell just terrifies me. How are you going to stay alive? as a
10
Wisp ET
seconds
support
remaining.
duo? How will you make active plays around the map?
What scares me
5
most
seconds
is that
remaining.
Kuro barely took any time in the bonus time for this draft. He knew exactly what he wanted, and he has got almost 2 minutes left. Team Secret on the 1 minute ticking down on their bonus time. Looking for a hero for Yapsur, as per Kuro's bans.
Like,
What's still in the pool that blows up Tiny? I mean, Io. I mean, Tiny was going to be...
It's not a bad Rubik game.
I love the bands. I love the Willow and the Rubik bands for sure, because when you have Centaur, you want that ranged hero. So even like, I'd say like an SD as well, if that's still available. Against ET, you can purge everything from there, so he's not too tanky. You have the save.
Yeah, but that's real tricky.
But yeah, it is less map pressure. And
Radiant team
he just can go Earthshaker, right?
Sky Wrath
better.
Nice. Yeah,
We saw that in the first series. Seems somewhat underrated. Did it get changed at all?
Which one?
Skywrath. I think you just got a couple of tweaks, maybe a little more base intelligence.
Yeah, nothing too left field for sure.
Oh, it's the second time we saw him today.
10 seconds remaining.
Very strong with the Grimstroke as well. Like, this is actually an absurd amount
5
of burst damage.
seconds
You can output
remaining.
double silence into Q spam.
But if they don't win their lane, then they go into a difficult spot of PL has to hit jungle. He can't really go just defuse one fight because Gyro is that big magic damage to deal with that.
Does Grimstroke PL lose the lane though? Like, do either of these side lanes lose?
Sand King can pressure with the correct 4. I think maybe with the ET it's...
Yeah, because if that is the dual lane, I mean, that's most likely, right? The ET Sand King lane?
It's a lot of punch as well.
Sure.
We'll see with the last bit. There's too much like up in the air with Nigma where they might be very creative, or they could just go.
You can
also Centaur, isn't that one of those heroes that can actually do fairly okay by himself as well? And we know that Secret loves to leave Zai on an island, preferably on the safe lane island, and then go for the tri lane.
This wouldn't be for right now. Dual lanes are like optimal because Centaur plus Sky. Centaur is the perfect buffer for a big like int explosive hero like Sky, and eventually Centaur is sufficient with Vanguard and Retaliate behind tower, opens up Sky to then rotate into lanes that might not be so good.
Darks, go ahead.
Well,
select
then
your
we're gonna have a
heroes.
little bit of a change of who's playing what. That is
it is the
the Miracle Sand King.
Okay, this is kind of cool.
Did not expect that.
No,
Sorry for everybody's eardrum.
Not at all. I was honestly expecting something, but this is the creativity that I wanted to see.
Yeah.
Woo, this is refreshing.
I think Mind Control is the only player in the world I'm happy to see on Darkseer, but this is ambitious. Like, you have a really cool setup now with Vac into SK stun, and we've seen some people try out SK mid, but the trouble is, like, where are your item peaks, and you know, how are you going to scale? Because the trouble is that Secret's lineup is just going to get more and more formidable. But the laning phase could be okay. Caustic build against Void Spirit, how he'll win that, right?
Yeah, Sand King will be able to pressure for sure. I would love to see the Iron play aggressive, potentially into the PL. Don't just accept some Centaur Skylane where they're bullying you. So initial 5-man smokes, entry into the game, get good vision out, find out the lanes will be critical for this game. But I love the creativity from Nigma. It's just a breath of fresh air seeing them just pick different heroes rather than the standard, like, what they used to do pre-patch. So yeah. It's going to be a great game.
Will we have a game 3? Maybe.
I hope so, because Dota is real good.
Yeah, it is.
I think so. I like, to your point, what we're seeing out of them, because I think that they've been missing this sort of X factor. Like, oh shit, miracles on Sand King. This is something we haven't said about this team. We haven't been surprised by them like last season.
People just saw the 1,000 game record on GA. Sorry, I jumped ahead. That was the you know, the highlights that are shown. Sorry.
No, that was good.
Yeah. Well, he should hopefully. I think he'll have another
1,001.
Yeah, 1,001. It is time to head over to a commentary team.
You really should prepare for battle.
Enjoy.
Thank you very much, Shiva. Yes, game 2 from Nigma versus Secret. I'm Pixel here with Fog. Hope you're all having a beautiful evening, ladies and gentlemen. And yeah, Fog, what are you looking forward to seeing here? I mean, obviously, the standout thing has got to be that Miracle is on the mid Sand King.
What? No, it's obviously Elder Titan. That's always going to be the thing that stands out for me. EP every time, my favorite hero. Love it. Unfortunately, it's a 5 position, so he's going to get no farm, so we're not going to see the true fun briefcase, but we got to see that earlier. It still fits well, though. I actually like how it fits with like the amping up. I always love heroes like Gyrocopter because it works in both synergies with the way the aura works. Sand King works really well with it. Same thing with Darkseer, too. So some fun stuff coming out from Team Nigma and Secret. They're going for more like your stable, kind of like these buffed heroes. And
30 seconds to battle.
Actually, like, pick heroes off, but when I look at Teamfight, I'm terrified
Is this
of
on?
this Team Nigma draft.
Oh, yeah. Oh, it's... You got to be careful as a little old Scar
Really
this game, I feel. A few hits from a flat cannon and a stun, and Yapsor's going to be out of action every time.
And I see potential for like the late game too, right? This Darkseer versus PL. You're going to have a PL eventually later on too that's going to be incredibly powerful. So we'll see how it all kicks off. Nigma trying to pose themselves a bit aggressive since they do have that ET Sand King strength.
I
It will
suppose
just
I'd
be a
better
2-for-2
start paying
exchange, it looks
closer
like.
attention to the
Matu's gonna go check it out. But Matu Control's gonna claim
butterflies.
that rune.
Yeah.
I'm super excited to watch Sand King mid. I actually had a couple games with Sand King mids, and it's been much more impressive than I thought it was.
Okay, because this hero, it had some sort of buffs on like the later talents, but nothing really that would change the early game, right? This hero didn't really get changed.
It's just different the way that you can actually play around now. Like if you do get an Aghanims and the way you can actually play in a distance with your epicenter and even with your shard, I'll be honest, I've actually seen the shard being a lot more impressive than I thought it was going to be too.
Okay.
There's actually a lot of fun plays and fun like crazy damage potentials you can do inside these fights, and it used to be one of the best heroes in the game versus PL for multiple different regions. Sure, Caustic doesn't apply to illusions like they did that one crazy patch, but overall throughout the game, it's an AoE control versus illusions. You've got two different forms of clear, and you've got a buffed up ET spirit behind it that's gonna.
I don't think it's going to be too much fun to lane against in the mid lane for Nisha here. That Caustic finale, I mean, you see it. Look at the damage that's being done. Whoa. It's not fun. Any melee hero in a 1v1 against a Sand King is not going to have a great time, and it is just going to be one of those matchups as well that Nisha just probably hasn't played in too much when he's playing mid Void Spirit.
No, I mean, any melee hero, like you said, it's so difficult, especially if he goes 2 points in the Caustic too, it's like devastating. I don't know if he's going to full commit because you probably want to go for more points in your Sandstorm and stuff, but the lane is going to be tough. Nisha's going to have to find some ways to recover, maybe get some help. See how these side lanes are doing. Centaur versus Gyro. I feel like we've seen this one a lot in particular since you have that big, chunky base damage and great animation versus Gyro. Zai should do pretty well down here with the backup of Yapsor.
And in terms of the PL, obviously just got hit last night or so by some further nerfs, but overall still a net gain for this hero after 7.29. You feel that the nerfs are not enough to take him away from being still one of the stronger carries this patch?
Denied!
Still feels great, especially into certain matchups where they just eventually they might not be able to deal with illusions. So we're talking about how they do have some good ways of just this continuous damage, but if he gets too tanky, you know, Sand King's dead, how the hell do they clear illusions? Like, we'll get to that point later on, but yeah, this hero's still super strong. I mean, your item peak timings are just so damn good as mid.
In the river, Nisha, he's got a TP. I think on the damage. He's out of lane with no TP, ladies and gentlemen. That's going to get a few tips coming into the mid here. And nice to see as well, you know, Nigma, a team where it's not about tipping your enemies, it's about tipping your buddies, tipping your allies here. Some very nice friendly tips here from Nigma this series that you got to take your hat off to.
Oh my, and he got both range creep denies too. Puppy even shows up trying to get it.
Hearts for Nisha.
That.
Oh, I mean,
and Puppy knows he has to TP. He had to TP mid here. He's like, I'm not gonna leave.
He's the mid now. I mean, Nisha's only got 8 CS. I think he's getting demoted. He's playing support Void Spirit now. Puppy's gonna start playing some mid Grim.
And somehow they've done a great job.
Dyer's middle tower is under an extraordinary amount of stress.
On the safe laner. Matu has 1. My control's at 17 last hits.
Puppy.
Miracle.
Be right. Bow strike not quite having the range to catch him. As Nisha has returned, he's made the long walk back to mid.
Nice early bottle picked up from Mind Control. We see Kuroki's actually the one carrying it. That's why he went over there to fill up that rune. This is really nice for Darkseers as well now too. Just being able to go for these earlier bottles. Of course, we've already seen the bottles on Darkseer, but just that much bigger of a benefit that you can apply pressure with bounties. I mean, I'm actually probably just gonna continue watching this mid because I feel like bottom the Gyro will start to recover soon because Skywrath can't actually apply too much pressure, but mid is just, I don't know how Nisha recovers. He's gonna have to like stack and just hope.
It's hard. I mean, we've seen these games before where Void Spirit just has such a tough lane in the middle, and your impact is just so much harder to have for sort of the mid game. You're going to be under leveled, and you're not going to have sort of that fast item timing that Void Spirits love to rush towards Orchids or Ags or just something, or Jules to make plays with. It's going to be slow because of this tough matchup you've had.
Absolutely, and the one fortunate thing at least is like that is the only big stun that he has to worry about, right? It's the Burrow Strike. Besides that, you know, there's some missiles and stomps that he has to deal with in a vacuum, but those are not as easy to, you know, you can't really control a Void Spirit as easily without that. So at least Nisha does have that in the mid game that he will be able to just pierce right into whichever place that he does.
Look at this.
Miracle.
Farming the small camp as well, some efficiency here. Gets behind the tower, grabs the creep wave, takes it over to the camp.
Dire's
He'll
middle
happily clear
tower
up both
is
of these
under attack.
for the caustic finale.
I feel like a
Denies
broken
Nisha
record.
the potential to stack and farm that camp. He's even going to block it himself to make sure Nisha can't farm it. Going to get a ward up, and now he applies pressure onto the mid lane too. Great stuff that we're seeing from Miracle here in this mid lane.
Oh yeah, this tanking mid looking very good so far. It's Kuro. Looking maybe probably quite dead. He gets the stomp off actually with the TP. Kuro's away. He's going to be able to get himself back to base.
Dire's top tower is
I think
under
that actually
attack.
saved him. The salve and then
Must
instantly
I
TPs
repeat
right afterwards.
myself?
It actually continues for a couple extra seconds, and he lives with like 60 HP. So yeah, that probably what saves him. Much stuff coming in from Team NIGMA.
And bottom lane, you know, it does look like we are starting to see after a slow struggle for RTW on the first few waves, he is catching up and he's doing fine. You know, they brought the pressure lane into his face and he's recovering. You know, he hasn't died. He's not fed down here. He's dealt with it. We'll see again on the replay. So let's see how much damage he does go down. So down to about 100 HP. He starts popping the salve. Let's see how much if they can do 100 HP. They did. Yeah, he went down to 20. He would have absolutely been dead. Just spot on. Spot on. I mean,
Beautiful.
just something about NIGMA today where they're just completely turned on about everything. Nothing. They're giving it their full potential. And
they're turned on about everything.
oh, I mean, I am watching them play. This is some brilliant stuff.
I take no
It's
pleasure
phenomenal.
in
It really
informing
is. Like, the
you
gyro
that
has
Dire's
recovered.
courier
You know, like
has
you said,
been
Centaur's good first gyro
slain.
in the first few levels, but he's gotten better. And Skyrath overall as a hero, you're still kind of the same. You don't have this dominant early like laning presence. Your hero really does start to fall off quite hard. You've gotten buffs, but they're not really that good.
Radiant's courier has been slain.
Good bunch of TP clarity.
A moment of silence,
Mr. GH.
please.
As Yapsel takes that away. Zai, he's
Radiant's courier has
all
been
right. RTW
slain.
and GH now in position
This
to get
is
kills
no
onto
sort
Zai.
of place for a
If the
peaceable
lane wasn't sort of
beast.
getting recovered as nicely as it was already, now getting kills on the offlaner as well.
So much magic damage, just the overcharge bumping up the gyrocopters from Rocket Barrage. Even a 1,200 HP hero like Centaur just chewed through. And Skyrath has to watch. Skyrath does not contribute anything besides just a little slow that comes up from that concussive, which is the ability that got buffed.
So he's got to be careful. Now the level 6 has been hit. They've got the extra bit of firepower with the cooldown if an opportunity arises for a kill.
Yeah, and I know he really wants the Vanguard because it really is like the best item you can get on Centaur, but there's a lot of arguments for a hood that might be necessary this game. There's just so much magic that's NIGMA.
Yeah, I mean, as you say, if Vanguard is what he's got queued up, but I mean, I know it did get buffed. But you're absolutely right. A hood is going to go a long, long way here this game.
It feels really good on Centaur, though. I do have to reiterate. Like with Retaliate and with the Vanguard, I've seen like everybody doing it now too. It feels really good.
Sure.
In this game, like I'm saying, it just couldn't be appropriate for him to actually go for hood, maybe even pipe eventually in this game. It's Miracle. Almost has his Blink Dagger finished. So he's going to go for the rush, just playmaking. He's not going to go for some type of greedy like Aghanims, it looks like. He wants to get really active, and I like that. Because he has Ion Shell, too. So
Dire's structures are fortified.
With this Blink,
They are looking quite robust.
Can relocate and join every single one of these fights, too, and just farm. So I like that he's going to go for this, and hope he does continue to go for the Blink. Then he can hunt PL.
Dire's top tower is being attacked like nobody's business.
It takes some time to actually be able to get involved.
They're coming in with the Stampede. They're charging him down. Can they keep him alive?
Dire's top tower is under attack.
Keeping him alive for now. Barrage strike comes in from Miracle. The counter plays there from NIGMA. As Zion Puppy will fall, NIGMA keep ILTW alive.
Dire's top tower is under attack.
Did Miracle? I think Miracle
Must
was
I
bottling
repeat
GH as he
myself?
TPs into, so those little bit of extra increments of healing coming from the IO tether, it gets amplified, it gets turned.
Radiant's
4-0,
middle tower
NIGMA,
is
0
under
mistakes
attack.
so far, and they've even
Dire's
forced
top
no
tower is being
lie
attacked
about
like
things.
nobody's business.
Fantastic for them right now.
This is some crazy stuff.
Dire's top tower is under attack.
And Miracle just casually 4.6k net worth at the moment. 1k ahead of that of Nisha.
He's got Blink, he's got Fairy's Trinket, he's got Epi. He can kill like anybody really on the map if he connects.
See if they're able to get the jump on Nisha.
He's gonna wait for the darks here, it looks like. Maybe just the +1, that little extra control with the vacuum.
They need it. They need it. Wouldn't be quite enough damage between him and the ET, so
no.
a third was needed. still.
Oh, yeah, we don't. There's no points in the aura yet on Kuro either. He's gone for just, he's 5 positions, so he can't.
Radiant's top tower
So
is
what sort of
under
agenda-
attack.
This is all under the ward, so that the blink reveal will be spotted out by Secret. Nisha actually going to get the jump on a Kuro. Kuro. I mean, he's actually having to walk away. Miracle's in with a power strike. That's knocked down Nisha. He's just going to jump in for the kill. He's not going to get it. Kuro's going to live.
Kids.
Oh no! They just can't get anything this game, Secret.
Radiant's top tower
Yeah,
is
revealed the
under
fact that
attack.
There's a ward on the high ground there too, with
And
the way
not
that he
in a
moved
good
instantly
way.
to when Kuro was.
Oh, Kuro.
It would appear
he's just not
Radiant's
dying this
top
game,
tower
Kuro.
is under
Feel that
attack.
Play up top of the healing salve in the river. Nisha not able to finish him off. He's unkillable, Kuro.
Double
Look at this, the
damage.
D ward. Immediately, like I was saying, he knows because of the way that Nisha moved toward him and the way that they've reacted running away. He's going to be able to get a D ward. He has Tranquil Boots, so he full heals too, and now he takes a point in aura to be able to buff up.
Radiant's
all
top
that magic
tower
damage
is
his team
under
has.
attack.
This is really good stuff. from
Radiant's
Enigma.
structures are fortified. Radiant's courier has
Get a
been
courier.
slain. Radiant's top tower is under
They
attack.
need that.
And not in a good way.
Well, this time, ILTW, he's going to be ahead of Matu's farm on the PL.
And he's going to be able to get this Maelstrom that is so good versus Phantom Lancer, and he's got Overcharge behind him, so it's buffed. It's spell amplified versus that PL2. They got a deep ward as well to be able to watch while Matu is farming. They know Secret is not fight ready. They can just keep running at them right now with this early blink dagger.
Dire's top tower is
trying
under
to catch
attack.
Nisha, missiles heading his way. but
Must I
they won't
repeat
dive
myself?
in for him, Nigma. Takes some actions.
Look at Matu's positioning. They just forced him completely out of the right side of the map, just wasted like a full minute of his time to go TP to jungle. They'll take the Ancients away. They're making all the right moves. And we did see Zai. He did go for Hood, by the way. He did not go for that Vanguard.
It
And he's
makes
gonna
so
go
much
straight for the
sense,
blink
yeah.
after. Yeah, it's like all magic damage.
It really is. It really is. It absolutely needs that to turn up to the fights and get involved, especially with the levels that Nigma's heroes getting in against, especially against the mid Sand King. Miracle kicking out an insane amount of magical damage.
Another power rune for Miracle. Has he gotten... Is that every single one, I think? I want to say. Did he give up any of them just yet? I don't believe so.
Regeneration.
We're seeing as well was the fastest blink dagger timing. Not too surprising though, seeing as how well his lane went. And he is the mid Sand King. He's going to have that boost to farm, especially with those cute little moves he made around the small creep camp.
It's the fact that he's so high level too. Like he's got max Sandstorm, max Burrow. He's got, of course, as we said, the Fairy Trinket. So it's like PL when he shows up.
Radiant's top
solutions are gonna
tower
die
is
pretty
under
quickly.
attack.
Include like an Ion Shell as well being thrown in. This isn't going to be an easy recovery for Secret by any means.
I mean, that is the thing. So for Matu, what's his game plan? When he's got the Diffusal Blade, is he turning up or can he not? When does he start thinking about getting involved? Is it after the first time, or does he have to get a few items in before he
Dire's
can fight
middle
into
tower
Nigma?
is under an extraordinary amount of Dire's structures are
Anywhere
fortified.
near the fights, but even then, it doesn't look easy at all. I think Secret has to play some type of playoff or pick-off game, and then try to like outnumber Nigma or just catch them really out of position. Because I think if Nigma's ever grouped up, just like it started to look like in that last game, there's no way. Secret
I am
can battle into
required
this.
to point out that Dire's middle tower has fallen.
Like 3 points in vacuum even too, on top of everything. Like Mind Control, he's just maxing it out. So it just synergizes so well with the call down, with the Sanking stun, with the Earth Splitter as well. It's gonna be tough.
Dire's
Secret,
top
they are
tower
slowed
is
down.
being
I believe they have
attacked
the blink
like
and the
nobody's
Atos, so now they
business.
can actually make plays.
Nigma's on the high ground though. Stampede in, they're going to get the jump on to ITW with the Mystic Flares and enough burst to take him out.
Dire's top tower is under attack.
To the side, but Matu's there waiting. We'll be able to kill him off. Now turn towards the next two targets. Soulbind with the setup, but Secret a little hesitant on committing into this, even with RTW dead.
Miracle, he epied the floor.
Double kill.
The floor's dead, I guess. Secret, they've got to find the IO. They're going to be able to jump over, get the grab on the Mind Control. The setup's there with the Remnant. Get the vacuum wall. Oh, the Boris straight on. Oh, there's the combo, baby. There's the combo onto the four of them. As they take down three. Miracle's not done yet. He's running down Matu. Matu and Yapso, they've got to get out of there. As there we have it, as you were saying before, these points in the vacuum, the setups there from Mind Control. And Nigma with a beautiful turnaround. They don't need, they carry in the game, they just need those two. Miracle and Mind Control comboing it up perfectly.
Dire's top
3K
tower
damage done there.
has fallen.
As hey,
I
he
could
didn't
have
need an
predicted this.
epicenter. You know,
It's just the epicenter, but that's the one that hit the floor. That
Yeah,
was
that-
only a burrow strike as well as the caustic and the sandstorm.
oh, he doesn't need no epicenter. The floor can have it.
I just want to see it again.
Dire's
that
top
one.
tower is being
Everybody
attacked
just
like
wants to see that back.
nobody's
Oh, let's
business.
see that.
That was just way too pretty. But they did get the kill. They got the gyrocopter. They surprised him with the blink and the Atos reveal. Don't think it's going to catch them again, though. God, that was so pretty. I miss seeing Sand King Darkseer together. You know, that's how you make Darkseer work, Kyle. Or that's how you make Sand King work. You just pick Darkseer with it every time.
Sand King Darkseer, it's...
Combo.
I mean, yeah, that was always one of the sort of the finest duos to have paired up with the Darkseer, but obviously not...
Up top.
Oh, Nisha, he's actually going to go in on this.
Oh, here.
They're in onto RGW. And can they burst through? Mystic Flare's going to get dropped down onto the IO. Will kill him. RGW's still able to get his spells off. The cooldown's out. And NIGMA's going to be able to turn this one around. They've found two. They're looking over towards Sonoma. They've got the catch
Dire's
on
middle
side.
tower is under attack.
And Matu,
I feel like
he
a
shows up in the
broken
back. He
record.
does kill off Kuroki, but now he's being chased. He used his doppel. 5 seconds remaining on it.
the
They're
wall's
just going to throw the wall.
Yeah. Start getting the illusions working on. So Miracle's going to have the jump up in a bit of time. Yeah, it's ready. But there is an Invis rune.
Ready.
Or do they have detection? They don't, but do they need it? They do. The vacuum not quite able to catch him as Matu. He's able to walk out of there. The Invis rune saving his life. Well, I say that Miracle's actually still chasing, and Matu does show to farm the camp. And he's fine. Yapso's by his side. He'll get out of there. 12-4 now, though, for Team NIGMA. And they're at a 4K advantage.
Gyro survives during all that big brunt. Look at how he's building on ILTW. A casual cloak thrown in there, give him the Sage
Oh,
for that
look at
increased
this.
health too from the IO. I love the little extra stats.
I mean,
oh my god.
I mean,
ET Spirit on top. Oh, just beautiful.
oh my goodness, let's look at that again.
One more time.
I mean, that vacuum sucked in a good way. 4 heroes straight away.
Radiant's bottom
Somehow
tower is
Yapso-
being
Yapso's
subjected
right
to
on the cusp of it, too.
extreme
That could have
violence.
just been all 5.
They got to watch out for those combos. Yeah,
Radiant's bottom tower is under
to pick
attack.
up a kill, and on the mid lane,
Radiant's
Miracle's already making the jump
structures
in onto
are
Matsu.
fortified.
Get the vacuum.
There appears to be
surging
some
Miracle
sort
up as
of
well with the
magic
Sandstorm
that
down. Matu's
Radiant's
out with the
bottom
doppelganger.
tower is being subjected to extreme violence.
It's continuing to slow him down. Every time he shows his face, I'm seeing Miracle. No hesitation.
Dire's
He just
middle
runs
tower
where
is
the PL
under an
located to just stop him
extraordinary
from
amount of
farming.
Radiant's
ILTW
bottom tower is
continuing
under
to keep
attack.
that lead.
Has that ever been cause for celebration?
3.
Radiant's bottom tower is
Nisha?
under attack.
Farming
Radiant's
that
bottom
pretty
tower
aggressively.
has
Does
fallen.
have steps, but there's some catch.
Burrow strike into the storm. Still got a step of
Dire's
available. In
top
fact, he's
tower
got
is
2.
under attack.
He's up to the high ground. If they've got anything divided, they have mind control with the vacuum.
Oh.
He's got another step. He's still running, but Kuro's chasing. Kuro's ready to give some punches. He's out to the side with the Assimilate, but he's got no further escape as Nisha goes down. Another kill for NIGMA.
Oh, are they going to join their relocate too? I think Secret wanted to go, but yeah, NIGMA's too close. They smoke immediately. They're going to opt against looking for the battle there.
I mean, they're just running at
The
them.
one on the hunt.
There's no Nisha. Dead for 30 seconds. NIGMA's got the numbers.
Miracle. Blink down for 8 seconds. Can't quite get him.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
More time wasted though. Matu
Has
does not
that
want to just
ever
sit in the
been
trees
cause
up
for
here.
celebration?
There's so many moves, so much action coming out. I think you'll be forgiven for thinking we were anywhere further into the game. We're only 18 minutes in. But already some of the items and timings that NIGMA's hitting and these kills, 14 against the 4. It's looking very spooky for Secret. They've got to try and find some sort of recovery plan here, but Nisha, Zai falling behind. Now Nisha, on the Void Spirit, as we said, that this is not an easy hero to catch back up. He's 1-4-0.
Yeah, really struggling, and they're struggling to really do much of anything. I'm seeing Puppy doesn't want to really show himself. He's also gone for a fighting build rather than a pushing out build. So who's going to really push out lane so much on their team? They have Skywrath and Grimstroke has level 1 Q. So the Centaur probably has to show in lane sometimes, which just completely removes any of their actual ganking potential. So it's just tough for Secret to just play the macro game at the moment versus Team NIGMA, who just is looking for battles. They're just running at them. LTW finishes the full hood. He's like, I'm only dying because of Skywrath and the Centaur burst damage. Through it. Just tank up through it.
SMY and Hood, yeah, he's a tanky boy. Smart builds here. No, he's just charging straight in. That's how confident he feels right now. He's running up into the three of them. We'll turn with the Stampede. He's going to get the save here as the heal comes through from GH. RTW getting low. The backups there. Miracle comes with the burst. The vacuum wall is dropped down. As RTW finally falls, there'll be a buyback from Zai. Miracle's just running them down. Matsu's got no escape. As they lose them one by one. Mind Control still alive. Zai trying to finish him off, but Miracle comes back in with the burrow strike, jumping in onto Zai. Zai will fall. Nisha with another astral step crosses across Mind Control, but it isn't enough damage. Mind Control still alive as Miracle just runs down Nisha. Burrow strike onto the Void Spirit as it's 4 dead on Secret. They're not done yet. Miracle into the base. He's ready to start diving tier 4s.
Dyer's structures are cunningly fortified.
But it
Dyer's
doesn't
top
matter.
tower
They
is
just
under
chase it down
attack.
with the right clicks. The towers are
Must
hitting
I
hard, and
repeat
Miracle
myself?
will die for this dive. Puppy coming in as well. Can they punish GH and Mind Control? As Nisha's chasing, he's coming with the
Radiant's
buyback for
courier
this.
has been slain. Let us hope it
GH
left no
is
little
looking
ones
pretty dead. Mind
behind.
Control will manage to TP out.
Dyer's top
GH,
tower is under attack.
He will go down slowly,
Must
but
I
surely here
repeat
as Puppy
myself?
and Nisha chase him down. Essence Ring buys him a bit of time, but he'll still fall. So,
Dyer's top tower is under attack.
Flashy moves from NIGMA. A little too overexcited though from them diving in. Miracle's aggressive dive on Yapsor does cost him and GH his life.
Great glyph usage there, we'll call it. To catch them a little bit off guard. Overextending. ILTW almost gets saved. I think it was Yapsor who comes in clutch with the 8-toe, stopping the relocate initially. That fight could have been, a full-blown disaster, but it still was pretty one-sided.
We'll see this dive again. I mean, as you say, what was the thoughts there? You can't underestimate how much these tier 4s do hurt. Few tower hits flying through, and that's a recipe for a pretty dead sanking. Back in the
Radiant's
action,
top tower
we've got
is
another
under attack.
Onto ILTW's life coming through, but he's
Not
still
in
alive.
a
The
good
Burrow strike
way.
comes in, he will fall, but the setup's been there. As the walls gets dropped down, side falls Puppy as well. Matthew's got to run. As NIGMA, they're chasing him down. The hard hits coming out from Kuro. As Matthew's trying to run, Miracle's going to be able to fight him again with the Burrow strike. Double kill for Miracle. As we'll see, I mean,
He can't show up to. It just feels like he can't
It
show
would
up to fights.
appear
Like the
Radiant's
AT
top
aura,
tower is under
ruins
attack.
These type of agi heroes so badly, and with the type of game state that it's been, like NIGMA just battles right through it. They lose ILTW, but who cares? They're fine with taking these fights still. It's Miracle on the chase again.
see if you can control Nisha long enough. He has got the Yules. Nisha's up to the high ground. Mind Control's in with the jump. He's going to be able to get the vacuum actually onto the two of them. And they're going to continue to chase. Miracle's in with another Burrow strike over towards Yapsor. Yapsor's gone.
You needed a better strategy.
They are respawning though. Zai is about to come back too.
Nisha, can he get back in on this? He's going to be able to get the catch onto Kuro with the ink swell set up from Puppy. Pick at the Phantom's embrace. So Miracle's got an epicenter. He's ready to go back in, but Nisha's off to the side. Miracle not quite able to make the jump in time. As Nisha's out.
Immediately again though, just right back onto the enemy side. Not looking to push out the side lanes so much. Just keep looking for this battle. Force these reactions. As that looks like now, Roche going to be on the mid.
Yeah,
They got the pipe as they finished a while ago on Mind Control. They're feeling really strong around this area. Even though they don't have the epi, they're still feeling that confidence.
It's got to be worrying for Secret. I mean, the last two team fights we've seen that NIGMA has still won, they've been team fights where RTW's died at the start. You know, there've been fights that he's not really been able to have too much impact at all, and it hasn't mattered. NIGMA still taking the team fights very easily. And just, you know, very impressive sort of showing at the trust
We
that
now
RTW
have
has
confirmation
in the team
that
to sort
Roshan
of clean
is the
things up,
latest
even if he
victim
does go
of
in
Radiant
first. You know, no
hostility.
fear from him at all as he voluntarily initiates both times, knowing that even if he does get fully focused and taken down, the rest of NIGMA are going to be able to get the cleanup. You know, these moves, they do seem coordinated. This isn't him
Dyer's
just
middle
going in,
tower
you know,
is
like
under
a
attack.
headless chicken. This is planned moves from NIGMA.
No, he knows that he needs to be the one to eat the brunt of the spells, because then it allows those big counter
It would appear Radiant's top tower is under attack.
They can connect with all those big spells. He's baiting Secret to stack up for that big vacuum.
Radiant's top tower is under attack.
We'll be all right, but he will lose his ward immediately.
Dyer's middle tower is under an
They're also high level, too,
extraordinary
on the
amount
side
of
NIGMA, I'm noticing.
stress.
Like level, if ILTW is actually 15. GH is 15
I'll
because
take your
ILTW
Dyer's middle
the
tower
supports
is
and
under
everybody else has
attack.
been amplified so much. And
Radiant's
it's something
top
different.
tower is
ET,
under
he's
attack.
got max aura.
And
that's
Dire's
what makes
middle
those
tower
games when you're playing
has
at
fallen.
this point in the game, and you can just
As any
negate all
fool
that
can see,
magic
it would
resistance, all
appear
that armor away
Radiant's
from the
top
PL in
tower is
particular.
under attack.
And now PL, we do see Matu, he's got the shard. So now
Okay.
maybe he can play from a distance where he's throwing lances, and then he can wait till the ET or one of these annoying heroes is taken out of the fight, and then he can start getting on top of them again. But it's going to be a tough climb. Because he was still an ancient.
Miracle. Looking for Zai.
Radiant's top tower is under attack.
They're gonna have the Yules into the
And
storm.
not in a
Zai,
good way.
he's gone.
Unbelievable!
No hesitation.
Radiant's top
Miracle
tower is
immediately
under
gets the
attack.
kill top, TP's mid, starts running over to connect to his team, just looking for the next battle every single moment.
I mean, they might look to dive this. Mind Control surging himself forward. Gonna get the cooldown, drop down onto Yapzor. There's no escape for him. Another it's 26-9 here, 25 minutes in.
I love the bloodthirst.
Sorry,
There's no
I just
passivity
noticed that
coming out
Dire's
from
bottom
Team Nigma.
tower
It's
is under
literally just
attack.
Everyone is looking for fights. No one's like even thinking about the lanes because they've got a Darkseer. It just naturally
I don't mean
pushes
to
in with
be
the Ion Chosen.
alarmist,
Just looking,
but
just swinging from one
Dire's
side of the
bottom
map to the
tower
other.
is
No
under
space.
attack.
Like Matu just never has space to actually go pushing out these waves because there's always some crazy fight just happening already from Nigma. Love it.
I'll look to take the safer tier 2s here as Secret sort of left stuck in the base now.
It's just getting harder too. Like that's the thing. It's like maybe if you feel like the PL is going to be able to overwhelm at some point, it's not. He's playing into some natural counters.
Dire's
The
bottom
itemization that
tower
Nigma's
is
building up
under
to
attack.
Just enable this gyro more too. The max solar crest. They're going to have the Aghanims finished.
Sorry,
on
I
Darkseer
just noticed
eventually.
that
They're gonna
Dire's
have
bottom
so
tower
many
is
different
under
things to
attack.
just ensure that
In a
they're gonna
blow
win
to the
all these
Dire,
fights. That
their
PL
bottom
will
tower
not ever
has
become that true
fallen.
carry.
I
He's
don't
already
mean to
finished on
be
Sanking now, too.
alarmist,
So
but
even
Dire's bottom
further
tower
chances of
is under
initiation
attack. Very nice.
Up to the base they
Dire's
go. Crossing out the
structures are
fortification here from
fortified.
Secret.
Structures are beautifully fortified.
RTW keep pushing up. Just casually tanking the Mystic Flare. He doesn't care.
Nope, he'll get healed up real quick. That IO behind.
They're going to look for the jump, but Miracle's over the camera. They've got the vacuum full of the two. They're just dead side, and Nisha just won.
Sorry, I just noticed that Dire's bottom tower is under attack.
For the cleanup. Puppy's gone as well. Matthew's going to try and jump his way back. The play, they're going to call it. They're tapping out of this.
Dire's bottom tower is under attack. Bottom tower has fallen.
And with that, the series
I'm
is
certain no one here will forget where they were when the
Team
Radiant
Secret.
seized
Team
their
Secret that
victory.
was top of the league last season. Team Secret that was second at the major. Nigma, they come in with a new change to the roster. ILTW in the carry, Miracle in the mid, and it looks phenomenal, Fogg. You don't get to see this sort of debut after a roster change look this good ever, really.